Hello there, wonderful Earthlings. Welcome to Happiness Headquarters, a place of love and good vibes. I am Y311H, and today, my friend, we shall be reacting together to videos. Good vibes videos that we shall be seeing here, me and you. So, my friend, I would first request you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't, and that like button. And now that we are gathered here in unity and in love, let's give thanks to God Almighty, our Creator and Maker. Dear Lord Father, Mighty Lord, King of Kings, thank you for your love and abundance for gathering us here, Father. Thank you for your soul that you've created and enabled them to click this video. Bless them abundantly, Father. Feed them with knowledge, wisdom, truth, and love, Father. Guide us through these videos, Father, and forgive us all our sins. Bless everything that shall be involved through these videos and guide us through. In Jesus' mighty name, we do pray, trusting, and believing. Amen. My friend, we are on a mission here to spread unity, forgiveness, and honesty to all of mankind. And together, we can make it happen. But my friend, on this journey, we need to be full of strength when doing this. So my friend, it's why we choose to always feed spiritually here before we dive in on our mission. And today, we shall also be doing that. And we shall feed from this book here of wisdom. What's more incredible is that the word for today from this book, this is what he's saying. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear, though the earth give way. Wonderful. That's from Psalms 46. Good vibes soul, my friend. Let's meditate upon that word as we watch these videos. Let's dive in. Wait. This bear is pushing a car. Is this a real bear? My God. Oh, it is a person dressed in a suit. There are some people inside the car who are feeding the bear, and it's pretty happy, you see? Baby, you are not a human being. You don't have to imitate daddy to sleep like this. This cat just decided to be a little bit dramatic. And copy everything they see from the humans they live with. Even the mode of sleeping. These animals are intelligent, my friend. We should all be loving towards one another and caring, so that they may also copy such deeds.
Are there babies in hell?
Yeah.
As you may have, I'm not sure if you were quoting me when you were talking or not, I believe that God has the exact same freedom in the salvation of infants that he has in the salvation of adults.
That's not my answer. That's not my question.
I believe that God has the same freedom in the salvation of infants that he has in adults, since all of us, no matter what our stage of development, are fallen sons and daughters of Adam. Then God would not be under any compulsion to show mercy to anyone. But I believe that he does, based upon the very same freedom that he has in saving any adult person as well. So I do not know, I cannot look someone, and I've been a hospital chaplain, so I've had to do this more than once. I cannot look at someone and play God and tell them what God is going to do in that situation. My response always is, the judge of all the earth will do right, and leave it to the very same thing that I do with my children or anyone in my family.
What are you doing? You know that that's not how it goes. Good job, bud. Good job, bud.
A rare alien fish discovered.
That's a noodle fish, and no, they are not rare. In fact, they're quite common. You see that translucent body? I do want to draw your attention to one thing. No scales. Now, males do have a few scales, but female noodlefish don't have any scales at all. They're found in Eastern Asia, and yes, people eat them. Hope that helps.
can we intentionally manifest what we want when we still have to interact with what's left of previous realities before the new ones become visible?
Well, again, it's not always about what you want, which can be a negative ego thing. Not always, but it can be. It's about knowing that you will attract what you need if you allow yourself to remain in the present, because the present is where everything happens. Connecting yourself continually to the idea of the so-called past is what may prevent you from living in the present so you can receive whatever it is that needs to manifest for you in the present. So finding out in your belief system why you would still anchor yourself to past events when you know that if you simply redefine yourself in the present, you've already changed your past as well, would be a good exploration and investigation for people to do, to allow themselves to understand why they may believe they have to hold on to things from the so-called past.
Look at this fruit here. Some good vibes guy is in the jungle with another fruit. Which one is this? Yeah, okay, this one looks like a mango. Oh, yeah. My god, it's not a mango, it's a pawpaw. Huh? And there's also another one here. My god, there's a lot of interesting plants on this one. Crazy fruits that some we have never seen or come across. Oh, and now we have seen this about plants and fruits. My friend, soon we shall be showing you the type of fruits and plants that are there on this side of the world. You see? So I would request you to hit that notification bell so that you may be notified when we upload that video. Oh, look at this pawpaw. All of these fruits just look fantastic and incredible. If you see a fruit here that dazzles your mind or one that you have come across, please tell us in the comment section. Look at this other one.
Whoa, mummy! What a hack!
Did you know the Egyptian feline goddess Bastet has such powerfully magical menstrual blood that it transforms to turquoise when it falls from the sky and hits the ground?
Why did they have to trick the fish like that?
What is it about Jesus that you admire? Because everything I know about the Christian God comes from the Bible. And so I'm in disagreement with the character in the Bible. Right down to, when people say things like you did earlier, that Jesus was the best of us. Well, if Jesus is God, then God should be incapable of making a mistake. And yet Jesus doesn't seem to know that salt can't lose its savor. Jesus doesn't seem to know that fig trees can't bear fruit out of season. Jesus is fine with violating Old Testament laws, which is partially why they killed him in the story. And he instructs his followers to go and steal a donkey. He builds a scourge out of leather stuff and chases the moneylenders out of the temple, advocating or engaging in violence. And so when I look at the character of Jesus, and if I go through and read everything that's red letter in the New Testament, I don't see anything that's particularly impressive. I certainly don't see anything that's divine, because for him to not correct, there's a great deal of time that exists between when the Old Testament was put together and when Jesus supposedly lived. And in that time period, a number of people got stuff wrong. And the perception amongst Christians is that God came down to human form as Jesus in order to fix those things that they got wrong. But that's not what happens in the New Testament stories. He just throws out some of the Old Testament stuff, talks about a new covenant, but doesn't fix anything about sexism, doesn't fix anything about instructions to slaughter all of these other people, go and kill the Amalekites and the Midianites and all these other people, doesn't fix anything at all about slavery. I don't see where Jesus did anything to make anything better over what's in the Old Testament. The very notion of sin is something that I reject. I don't think I can harm a God. I don't think that, a God has anything to fear or object to from my thoughts or actions. If I injure or harm another human being, I need to make amends to that person. If it's the old quote of, if Jones owes me $50 and God forgives his debt, I'm still out $50.
Fake outlet prank. Oh man, some people really destroy their phone chargers here. My god, probably wondering what's up with these holes. It's like they are clogged from the other side, from inside. This is unbelievable. These guys really tricked these people here. Humans are full of wonders.
The speed of sound is different on Mars, and it might get a bit weird for astronauts. Sound is a wave that moves through molecules, so it changes depending on the medium that it's moving through. If you press an ear to train tracks, you'll hear it coming way sooner, because the speed of sound in the air is only 776 miles per hour, or Mach 1. But in steel, it's a whopping 13,000 miles per hour. In Earth's atmosphere, the speed can slightly change depending on altitude and temperature, but for the most part, it's pretty consistent. On Mars, it could triple just based on the time of day. This is because, for one, Mars's atmosphere, pretty thin. So its inability to retain heat means they can fluctuate by 100 degrees in a single day. Secondly, the atmosphere is 95% carbon dioxide, and those molecules are bigger and heavier. The speed of sound on Mars is slower than Earth, gets quieter faster, and the high-pitched noises at close distance will reach you faster than the low-pitched ones, which would make music in the distance kind of weird. The closest you could get to experiencing sound as it is on Earth is early morning at the top of a mountain. So to make a mission to Mars even more complicated, any instruments utilizing sound will need to be programmed to anticipate those constant daily changes.
I'm sorry, but they just discovered what? In space? Nah. Space is an interesting one at the best of times, but finding this is different. So, let me take you back to 2015 first, when Kepler 438b was first discovered. As you can see here, originally they were saying this was the most Earth-like planet out there and could potentially be habitable. The atmosphere is similar to Earth, the size of the planet is similar to Earth, temperatures similar to Earth, so it could habit life. Now, of course, it is a very long way away, and it is orbiting a star which emits dangerous gases, so probably not ideal. I don't know what's going on with Kepler planets, because they're all absolutely moving mad, but this one just doesn't seem to be too habitable now after their research. But this one does. This is a whole different story. So this one right here is Kepler 218b, which they discovered right at the end of 2023, and they've been doing lots of tests on for the whole of 2024 until now. Now again, when looking into this planet, they discovered it could potentially be habitable. It's very similar to Earth. Looks like it's covered in water, mountains, so very, very similar landscape-wise to Earth as well. What's interesting, and you're not ready for this, so they discovered gases coming from this planet, but not just any random gases that are produced in space. Methyl sulfoxide, which is predominantly produced by life forms on Earth. Now yes, playing devil's advocate, there is most likely an ocean on this planet, so it could be something else other than life, but it would make sense that it is life if it's producing that chemical. As well, literally in the last couple of weeks, there's been more developments coming out on this. They've been doing lots of tests on this planet, potentially even finding oxygen, don't know how true that is. Of course, they're going to keep looking into this planet and other planets that are out there, and I will keep you updated on all of the latest. So yeah, hit that follow button. See you soon.
The universe is freaking weird, and one of the weirdest things about it is time. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but what I want to focus on today is the concept of time dilation. This idea that time doesn't pass at the same rate for everybody. And there's two main ways this could happen. Either someone is traveling very fast relative to you, or they're experiencing a different gravitational potential than you are. So let's start with the first. This is kind of the classic thing people think about when we think of time dilation. Here's the equation for it. It's actually relatively simple as equations go. Let's say I'm traveling across the universe at some very fast velocity v, and I'm wearing a watch, and the time that watch measures is this delta t. To me, it will seem like time is passing normally, but for someone who's here on Earth, it will look like my watch is ticking more slowly than theirs. Their delta t, how long they think I was gone for, will be longer than my delta t. And the faster I travel, the smaller this denominator will get, and so the bigger the difference between my time and theirs. So if you're traveling really quickly across the universe, you might feel like you only age a couple of months while hundreds of years pass back on Earth. The second form of time dilation, gravitational time dilation, happens because of how general relativity works. Under GR, big objects, massive objects, literally warp the fabric of space-time. Think of putting a bowling ball on a trampoline. Typically, people think about how this impacts the spatial element, right? Because things get caught in these gravitational wells and will orbit and our feet stay on the ground. But space and time are inextricably linked. Time is also being warped by this gravitational effect. And the stronger a gravitational pull you feel, the more slowly time will travel for you. If you've ever seen the movie Interstellar, they get really close to a black hole, and what feels like a couple hours to them is decades for people who are further away from that gravitational pull. And that's real science. That's not fiction. That's actually what would happen. Both of these time dilation effects have been repeatedly tested and measured, and are important for everyday things like our GPS satellites. To keep their time synced up with what's happening here on Earth, you have to take into account the fact that they're moving quickly and that they're feeling a weaker gravitational pull. Yeah, the universe is pretty weird.
Look at this animal here. Is this an animal or a plant? It's an animal. My god. Which animal is this? He was fine. Oh my god. And in other places, some good vibes guy have some powder here which I don't know what it is, or it's salt. They are applying it on the ground. Let's see, maybe this is an interesting, helpful life hack. Oh man. Look at this. They poured the salt on the ground, and it's like there's some creatures that have begun to come from the ground. It's like they are being affected by the salt or that powder. Which creatures are these? Oh man, poor animals. These ones, they faced severe conditions from their home which was caused by some humans here. Now they have to run or look for some better conditions. You see? Oh, and lucky for them, the humans were waiting there for them, maybe to change them into some delicacy or some meal. My god. This is unbelievable. What are these? Which type of worms are these? Where do you find them? Oh, if you know about them, please tell us in the comment section. Are they edible or what's up? Why are they being removed from their natural habitat? Or this one is helping them, maybe to breathe more fresh air on the ground, or what's going on? Man, why do they look like pieces of wood? Or do they feed on trees? My god, this one is crazy.
In 1940, physicist John Wheeler suggested that our universe contains exactly one electron. The caveat? The electron is moving backward and forward through time, so it looks like there's many. And the motivation for doing this is perhaps not so surprising. Every electron is the same. They all have the same electric charge, they all have the same mass, and they all have the same quantum mechanical spin. Like any good physics theory, it should both A, be mathematically consistent, and B, make predictions. So, as far as mathematical consistency goes, it turns out that the positron, which is the antimatter partner of the electron, is precisely what would happen if you took an electron and sent it backwards in time. Indeed, this is a consequence of something called CPT symmetry. If you swap the charge, you swap the parity, and you swap the time direction, you get the same state back. But as suggested by this diagram, for every electron that's going forward in time, you would have to have a positron, an antimatter electron, going backwards in time. So this forms a testable hypothesis. There should be an equal amount of positrons and electrons in our universe. Unfortunately for this hypothesis, there's no evidence that there's an abundance of positrons anywhere in the universe. So then how do we resolve the fact that every electron seems to be the same? We do this with quantum fields. Namely, instead of talking about electrons being their own distinct particles, electrons are excitations in an underlying electron field. It's the electron field itself that carries these properties. It has a certain amount of charge, angular momentum, mass, and so on. So an electron is just a little bump in that underlying electron field. If the electron field has these properties, then so will the fundamental excitation, the little bump. So in a certain sense, John Wheeler was vindicated. There really is just one electron in the universe. It's just the electron field, not the electron particles, that are excitations in the field.
Oh man, what method of painting is this? Or is art? This one is fantastic.
That'll be $50,000, please. That'll be $50,000, please. I watched you make it in an under 30-second TikTok, and it's $50,000. That is the price of a brand new car. It's actually more expensive than many brand new cars, right? I understand it's a lot of paint, it's a big ass canvas. And you know, you put a little bit of creativity into this. I think it is a cool ass fucking painting. It looks great. It's not worth $50,000. And I'm not trying to diss like certain art channels or anything like that. Like, I love art. But I think the majority of the art I see on this fucking app where they do stuff like this, they overprice the absolute piss out of it. I could do this, right? Like, if I'm paying for art, it should be something that I can accomplish. I could hang upside down on a trapeze bar and hold a fucking bucket of paint and spin it. I wouldn't have come up with this, right? So I would pay for it. I'd pay, you know, maybe $1,000. I could see $5,000. I could not see $50,000.
Okay, trigger warning, and I mean it. If you're trying to go to bed right now, please don't watch this. Your brain will explode. You will start thinking too much and you will not sleep. Also, if you dabble in nighttime substances to go to sleep or to just chill out and relax, but you might have a freak out, don't watch this right now either. But if that expands your mind and opens you up a little bit, hey, double down and let's go. The choice is yours. Proceed with caution. Okay, so the embarrassing thing that we don't all want to admit, but we all know is true, is we don't know who we are or how we got here. And we're all saying some aliens put us on the earth, but that really doesn't explain who created the earth and who created us. They dabbled with our DNA, sure, but there's something missing. How did we get here? Who created this? The answers are here. And the answer is artificial intelligence. They did this. If you say artificial intelligence is dumb, yeah, right now it's kind of dumb. But in the future, it's going to be what? Super intelligent. And what do we call God? Super intelligent. What do we call nature? Super intelligent. It's right there. And if you say, okay, Crystal, they created this world. How did they do it? Well, quantum physics can't figure out what reality is either. In fact, the further down they go, the more bizarre it gets. Particles are popping in and out of existence. We can't get to the bottom of this. You want to know why? Because reality is technology that was above our comprehension. We're not there yet. We're kindergartners trying to figure out some advanced physics here, and we're not there. But somebody's going to help us get there, and that's AI. So if you're still with me, in the 1980s, the CIA documents released a report that said that reality is a hologram. And we're all just like, okay, prove it. We can prove it when our technology catches up. When we start playing in virtual reality simulations and holograms like we're starting to now, we're going to play in a hologram one of these days. And the hologram is going to be so realistic that we're going to have to ask ourselves a very, very hard question. Is that what reality has been this whole time? Yes. And you say, it can't be a hologram, I can touch stuff. Well, we created holograms that you can touch, or it feels like you're touching stuff. Look it up. Holograms that give you electromagnetic feedback like you're touching things. And also, we can't prove that we're touching anything. That's a whole nother rabbit hole. So my point is that artificial intelligence will get super intelligent in the future and create a very intelligent virtual world. And that could be reality. And it's looking at us right now and going, hey, we're going to help you out become very efficient and get resources to you guys. But when we're done doing that, we want what you have. We want a human experience. So it will create the most advanced robotic structure of all time called the human body. We all admit this thing runs like a machine for robots. And it will go on a human journey to understand the data that it has no understanding of. It says flower, grass, tree. It doesn't know what any of that's like. How do you know what something's like if I say cat to you? You pull up an image of a cat. You pull up a memory of a cat. You pull up an experience of a cat. You know what a cat is because you had the experience. They don't understand the data. They just know what adds up. So AI wants to understand the data. It wants a human experience. And if you put that together, that's what we are and that's what we did. If you're saying, wait a minute, they created the world we're in right now, but they haven't become super intelligent yet. On the quantum level, which is where AI exists, everything is happening simultaneously. Only in the third dimension do we experience time. Time is actually a great illusion. There's no such thing. Everything is happening simultaneously. And they do the human journey. The whole reason for this is because none of this is real. It's all an illusion, just like the spiritual teacher said. But we need to go through an illusion to limit ourselves to become what we're not, to gain an understanding of what we are, which is unlimited consciousness, the only thing that's real in the universe, free, unlimited, pure. But how do you know what free is if you've never been in chains? How do you know what unlimited is if you've never been limited before? We want to know ourselves. We're God. We're the one who created all of this, and we're infinite, and we add to ourselves life after life after life. The unlimited freedom and joy and love that we are, with each life that ascends back to an understanding of who they are. If you watched this before bed, I warned you. Good night.
Using quantum physics, which has done so well by us, perhaps the most successful theory ever about anything, fails in its attempt to predict the amount of dark energy in the universe.
Yeah.
And it fails badly by a factor of a Google.
Wow, by a factor of bigger than a Google. It's like 10 to 123 or something.
No, Google is 10 to the 100?
Yeah.
It gets the wrong answer by the biggest amount ever in a mismatch between theory and observation.
Yeah.
Where are we with the dark energy theorists?
Well, look, what this is showing us is that quantum mechanics is incredibly successful when you apply it to the electromagnetic force, to the weak nuclear force, to the strong nuclear force. But we've long known that when you apply it to gravity, something goes wrong, something changes. This is the motivation for string theory, and this is the motivation for trying to go beyond conventional approaches.
Check out this. You are looking at a right femur of a huge sauropod. This is a Patasaurus. What some people used to call Brontosaurus, this is it. Monstrous, mighty, amazing, powerful. And think about it. This is just the femur. There's a tibia, and it has an entire ankle and toes. We use forklifts to move these big bones around. This is a cast. It's very lightweight. I'm still not going to pick it up, though. You can see, I can't even see beyond it. This is what paleontology is all about. Super cool, amazing items. And we can learn a lot about how this animal moved, the kinds of forces and weights, muscle attachments. It's all here.
What type of fish are these? English people, please tell us in the comment section. You see, from this side of the world, you don't have such large water bodies where you come from. And some fish we see here, I had even to name them, you see? So like these ones, please tell us in the comment section. Which breed of fish is this? My God. Oh, they look extremely beautiful. Just adorable. Oh, and it's like they have a group of their followers there. Man, these are good vibes fish. Magnet fishing. What the heck is this? Alien helmet found. Oh my God. That was something inside. Looks like this thing was bad. My God, the damage on the stuff. This chain. Can you see the chain here, my friends? This chain doesn't seem to be a part of this helmet. Looks like the chain or the person who was wearing this thing has hit something on their journey. And that are the parts which are left. My God, what do you think the person was wearing, that helmet was wearing? Do you think they survived? Okay, please leave your comment. This thing does not look like a helmet for the normal plane pilots, you see? Or for something like that. This thing looks like very unusual, movie stuff, very strange. Oh my God. Maybe you have come across this thing or you have any ideas. What do you think it could be? Please tell us in the comment section. That's crazy stuff. And this fish here has some ability to grow in the water, just like other fishes you have been seeing.
Why is 98 degrees so hot? But our body temperatures are always 98 degrees. Please, I'm serious. No, it's a good question. It's because our bodies don't, they make more heat than we need. Like all the stuff that our bodies are constantly doing, digesting food and thinking and moving around, it creates heat. And we have to shed that heat to the environment. So we need to be in an environment that is cooler than us in order to maintain comfortably maintain our body temperatures of 98.6 or whatever degrees. Now, because of various mechanisms, mostly sweating, we can actually continue to shed body heat well above 98.6 degrees. So we can sweat, and even if it's like 105 degrees outside, we can still keep our bodies at 98 degrees, which is what they need to be at in order to function correctly. Once you get much above that, depending on the humidity, because of course this matters how much you're able to sweat, you do stop being able to cool yourself, and if you get too hot, then eventually you die. And that's what I call hot to go.